Hi, it's MC Too Tall, your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host of the MC Too Tall Show, reminding you that Wild Bagels makes bagels that look like this. They're very tasty, they're very appetizing. I got the bacon, egg, and cheese on a plain bagel, but you could get any bagel you want that's baked on the premises however you want. And they are very good at their pricing, and I can promise you, three bagels like this, made up like this, and three large coffees like this will never be $60. Inflation will never take us there. Wild bagels will never take us there. So get your little booty on over to Wild Bagels, 1901 Stillwell Avenue in beautiful Brooklyn, New York, or you can give them a call at 718-333-WILD. That's 718-333-WILD. And remember, Wild Bagels, those bagels sure are wild.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring, and George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
What's good, my people? It's MC Too Tall, and you're watching the MC Too Tall Show. Well, before I did my far right wing, extreme far right wing conservative commentary on YouTube, I was, and still am, in effect, a hip-hop lyricist, goth scene ambassador. I make hip-hop music that the goth community seems to like very, very much. It's music that's gotten me laid over the years. Even during my heyday, and it's made me a real big hit with the ladies, if you know what I mean. And so there are still people that tell me how hardcore, fierce, and sexy I am, and they still get weak at the knees when they ask me to do a few verses from my rap songs, and I actually oblige them. So here's my theory on the matter. I believe it was my fourth, fifth, and sixth albums that got me up to that level. The first three got me on the map. It got me known as a lyricist, a profound lyricist. And then when I started doing the other three, that's when the ladies started believing me to be sexy. And back then I was doing songs like Grandstanding, Call Me Killer, the revamp of GSRS versions 2.0 and 1.0. I was doing songs like The Rules of Lewdness, new logos and new marketing schemes. You ain't a promoter, and I want your blood. And you'll be surprised how many people love the song I Want Your Blood. I didn't think that many people would like it. I mean, that song alone drives new logos and new marketing schemes into a very dark place. Overall, the album New Logos and New Marketing Schemes is a very dark album. It's where I attempt to change the logo, and I did it because my brother Louis Krantz told me the skull was evil. He told me the skull was evil. And so I wanted to, like, not be evil. So I made a round circle with letters protruding, with sharp letters protruding out of the logo to give it sort of a ancient civilization type symbol kind of thing. Give that kind of impression. So it's a sharp M sticking up out of the circle, a C, like a very gothic looking C, and then underneath the name Too Tall, but I had the cross of the T's go through both T's, and then the bottom parts of the T's would be like lowercase typewriter T's, but instead of rounded at the bottom, pointed at the bottom, sticking down from the circle. And then two connecting O's to complete the word two, a connecting A connected with two connecting L's, completing the word tall, and that would stay within the circle. And so that's what I had it looking like. Either some kind of navigation thing, some kind of symbolic fraternity thing. I had it looking like that when it was just a logo of my design that I decided to give it that look for shits and giggles because I didn't want to look evil anymore. And I was told that the skull was cultic and evil. But I brought the skull back. Because after a while, people were just pissing me off, and I just got tired of trying to soften my tone to appease a bunch of people. And that's when in, let's say, 2015, 16, 17, I stopped giving a fuck and started saying blatantly offensive things about people, naming people by name in my songs. I didn't care. Because these people deserve to be called out. DJ Paradox, Jennifer Bianchi, needs to be called out. And that's where we are with this. So my darkest album is New Logos and New Marketing Schemes. Because in an effort to soften up the tone, I made the album look even darker because I put that logo in red on a black background with a red frame or red border, and it just looked deep and dark. It's like it was stealing your soul and sucking it into the jewel case of the album. And that's what happens. And so I start out I start out with a seemingly upbeat song with the intro, and then I go into uh, Cleanse with Fire and some other bullshit song, and then new logos and new marketing schemes. I open up with Cleanse with Fire because I was told to start with a fast song and then slow it down. But I just put any song anywhere. I like building things up. Mm-mm-mm. And that's what I did. Mm-mm-mm. I built it up. And so, Cleanse with Fire, I start with the fastest paced song of the album, and then I dip it down to the tempo of new logos and new marketing schemes, the title track. Cleanse with Fire is a great song. It's on my YouTube now. It's been on my SoundCloud for years, but I finally put it on my YouTube. I had it posted to Vampire Freaks, and a lot of people think that that's my downfall. I was so proud of that song that when I finally brought it up to YouTube and I wanted to do artwork for the still picture that I use for my YouTube, I decided to go shirtless. And that's a recent photo of me with one of my cats in that YouTube photo. That is to be part of the artwork. The artwork of Cleanse with Fire. And it's a great song because it can be applied to the footage of Donald Trump blowing up the lowlives in the water, blowing up those scumbag pieces of shit that deserve what they get in the water. I'm surprised there was nobody there to put their foot on the necks of each and every one of them while they're being blown up, addressing them as boy. That's how much insult to injury those sons of bitches deserve. And if you get offended, okay, you know where to find me, and you know other names associated with me. Other names of other people associated with me. Get who you need to get, do what you need to do. Because I wrote the song You Can't Kill Me, and I wrote the song You Can't Kill Me for a reason. Now, ironically, that song is not on my new logos and new marketing schemes album. What is on that song is a 7-minute ballad. I did a 7-minute ballad called Bare My Soul. And I call it Bare My Soul because it's about a long-lost love. And I put myself in the place of the person experiencing that. And how, in the midst of crying about this long-lost love, the person realizes that the long-lost love was a fucking asshole that had smelly armpits anyway. So fuck her. I did not think that I was prophesizing, though. If you know what I mean, yeah. Anyway, these characters got so offended. You know, I patched things up with my buddy Spaz later on in life. But at the time, Spaz was offended by the song Bare My Soul. He thought I was talking about his mother, who I never met. I'm glad we got to clear the air and I got to explain that to him. And when I did go to explain that to him, he didn't even know what I was talking about. So what the deal with that? The deal with that is that I'm under I'm under the notion that Spaz was under some spell because he later became nice to me and then dipped off the planet again. I'm sure wherever he is, he and I are still friends. I'm sure. Because I haven't heard him say anything bad about me. I haven't heard him accuse me of homophobia lately. Or that I started him with Frank Wood or anything like that. Which takes me to the next song. I did a song with C to the Z, who has since died, and Scarlet Venom, who uh, is not so young and healthy anymore as she was back then. And something tells me there'll be a time in the future where I exist and she doesn't. That's how much that's how little this person has taken care of herself. But not my monkeys, not my circus, not my problem. That's my monkey no more. But that doesn't matter. We did do a kick-ass song called "You Ain't a Promoter," and we kicked ass and took names, and that's it. We kicked ass and took names, all three of us on that song. Chaz with his profound, deep dwelling, psychedelic lyrics that very poetic, very mind bending. I needed somebody like that to close out that song. I have an interlude featuring my old buddy Slapnuts, and I use the same instrumental as the intro and the outro. And the outro, I say in the lyrics that the purpose of AIDS is population control. The purpose of the Fed is to take your gold. I walk among the children with the knowledge I spread. So fuck you got a problem with anything I said. And that was my thing, to finally teach the children about God and make them aware of the fact that there is an Illuminati that goes against God, that is working for the devil. And that's an important thing. That's still a message in much of what I say in my videos. That God is real, God is good, and there is an Illuminati working for the devil against God. And as soon as you break it down to that simple fact, as soon as you come to the hetero white messiah realization of that, you could build all your other scenarios around it, like Legos, like an erector set, like your mother and Mitchell's mother being two peas in a pod. So that's what I have to say about my album New Logos and New Marketing Schemes. It was an album in which I still intended to make people aware of what I was doing and what's going on out there, because God gave me superior, majority loved lyrical talents to spread his message. That could only... my lyrical talents are a gift from God, and God would only give me such a gift if he wanted me to do something with it. And so that's God's way of telling me to spread his message. And when I lose the lyrical talent, the mission to spread the message still remains. When people tell me I'm untalented, like I'm an untalented piece of shit, I take that personal because they're going against God. Not only am I talented, it is a God-given talent. Because God is real. God is so real that no atheist has ever kicked my ass. Think about that. If you come for me and you don't believe in God, God will stop you. Truth. Truth. You big-nosed fucking characters. You losers. I believe in God, you fucking losers. Follow my lead, and you will go somewhere in life. You will go further than anybody from the left and anybody who does not believe in God. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Listen to my music. Follow my ways. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero. Your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host that is never gross, MC Tuto. Yaha.